Okay. Got all my stuff over here. Okay, I got this centered into here, so turn the light off, you might see better maybe, I'm not sure. So we're just over 10 here on the dial. So pretty much all the way around there, wherever it went to. There it is. No, here we go. Over there in the dark now. Alright, anyway. Pretty much about the same. It looks like it moved a little bit on me. And it did move a little bit. I walked away and it moved. Yeah, it went up an extra tenth on my thing there, so now it's showing it. Alright, I put it in that direction. Alright, I gotta move back a tenth. I moved to 2 and it bumped to 3 after I let go of everything. So basically, you gotta jerk this like this. Up there, it moved a whole bunch. If you're not paying attention, it moves a lot. Get down to -1. Right there. Let's see what we got now. Let's get back to our number. Where's my 10 at? Just above the 10, just above the 10, just above the 10. And over here, just above the 10. Alright. 1/10 of a thou makes a big difference on the indicator. This and that do not agree with each other. Most of the time they are not the same. Sometimes they're close, sometimes it's 2 or 3 to 1 difference. You never know. They are what they are. Okay, so this is in there. It's gonna have to drop a lot. Okay, so we got a breather valve. Where's the mark at on this thing? Jeez, didn't even see a mark. Stupid SMS. No mark the breather. Now they marked it on the washer. Look at that stupid ass dumbasses. They marked it right where the washer is. You can't see it. Figures. I marked it. See what's going on? I want to go back in the hole now. There it goes. A tight spot in there. It's loose when it's all the way down. It's got tight spots some other places. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put all the gears in here. Preferably on the actual timing marks, which is really hard to see in the dark. Alright, where's my marks at on this thing? There they are, way over there. Right there. Okay. I'm lining up all the marks just in case it makes a difference. Probably doesn't, but who knows. Okay, this cam here is the one that's really tight. Go ahead and put it in here first. Let's see, shim washer's in there. Keep going the wrong one. For some reason these parts do not want to fit together. The gear just will not stay in the right spot. Okay. Help they were in the right area. There we go. Hair's out of the way. Alright. That probably didn't matter all that much, but I did that way. Screw it. Okay, so we got the marks lined up here, there, that one down there. Where's the light off again? There we go. There's no marks on that one. So this one is really loose, it makes no difference at all. This one here appears to be very loose also, so it doesn't make any difference either. And this has a lot of clearance also, but it's not assembled yet. So we'll see what happens here. This is not the cam we're going to use, but we don't know how far off it is. Just like this gasket is what it is. It's all going to get cut. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing in here. It went down. It's a good sign. How close everything is, but it is what it is. Put a few extra screws in here just to make sure I got enough in here. Maybe one more. All right. Looks like we moved that 110, so we don't want to move. Tight. Tight. That one's tight. 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 They're not done yet because I can't get to them. shorter screwdriver to get in here. Oh, we need to drop it some more. Which one's easier? Oh, let me drop it some more. Oh, that works a lot better now. Gotta be smarter in your tools. See? Okay, last one. Missed the hole that was tight before. Doesn't seem to be such a big offset this time. It's tight. Okay. Well, it actually does move. Surprised. Remember, the cam's just made to fit in the hole tight. It's not made to do anything. Okay, it's in there. All right. So all that stuff is up in there. A lot of backlash and then gears. All that noise you're going to hear is from that right there, that circuit breaker. Yeah. It's even looser when you add in the idler. Yeah, a lot of noise, I bet. Alright, so let's see how far off this hole is now. Oh, what a shocker, didn't even touch. Oh, it touched over there. There's our high spot right there. That angle. So there's 20, or 12 there, so that's 7 past 15, so that's 22 to 0. There's 0, we go down another 5. So it's 27 thousandths out around, which means it's 15 thousandths off center. And we're still not measuring all of it because we go off scale over here. It's not even hitting over here. So this hole is probably 20 thousandths off the center where it should be. Just on that one. That's why you have to do the double dowel. So we're going to have to make the hole double whatever the error is. We have to make it that much bigger. So if you're 20 thou off center, you go at least 40 thou bigger to clean all the way around the whole hole. So we're probably going to want to go any more than that. So that's why I have to make a step dowel for this one. And we'll be doing the same thing on this one down here, but I'll have to take this thing completely back apart to make that dowel. But I will be putting this dowel in before I cut that one. So after I make this dowel, I'm going to put it in. Then we'll go back over and do that one. That one, when we put this cover back down, it's going to be in the same spot. There will be no error. It's going to be what it's going to be. The error is going to be, if it's in the wrong spot now, it's going to always be in the wrong spot. So you have a little bit of fluctuation, but not a lot. So anyway, that's where we're at there. Now we are 1/10 of a thou off up on top over here, so that might be one of the thous over here, because that's a 1/10 off there, but theoretically 1/10 isn't anything, so we'll see. Okay, my next problem is I got to find a boring bar that's just small enough that I can do this hole. How am I going to find one that damn small? That's small. So usually I use a big boring bar. This is normally what I'm using right here. You can't bore out a 3/8 hole with a damn 3/4 boring bar. It doesn't work. So, and my little dinky boring bar is like a 1/2 inch. There used to be a thing of boring bars. See how they're right over there. And see, those aren't very small either. See those ones there? So I go find some micro boring bars. I don't do a lot of micro boring bar work. So my guess is, let's go over the valve guide department. What do we got over here in my valve guide cutting department? I have to use something here to do what I want to do. I know I had a little small boring bore I was set up over here to use. Maybe that's what these are. I don't know what these are. Looks like a drill bit. We're not looking for drill bits right now. I'm looking for boring bars. No, I don't want you. Where's my boring head at? If you don't find your boring head, you can't find your boring bars. Okay, not you, not you. No. Not my little small boring bar. I bet you that's a little small boring bar right there. Rust on my chuck. There we go. That's the small boring bar, and there's a really small something in there. I'm not sure what that is. Reamers, no boring bars. So whatever's inside of this is what I got. There it is. That's the boring bar right there, 1/4 inch. Perfect. I need this. Bought this for doing valve guides. Now, how are we going to put this in this machine? Probably with a collet, because I bet you this is a little small dinky 1/2 inch shaft or some stupid thing like that. Okay. There you go, 1/2 inch shaft. There's our little dinky boring bar. It's a high-speed steel, is not carbide. A little small boring head for doing small work. So there you go. It's not a big boring head, it's a small boring head. So I use a 1/2 inch collet, which should be right there. Boom. Put that right in there, and I can bore the hole. Bingo. That's how you do it. A little piece at a time. Okay, this has to go away. Okay, goes over here. All right. It's hitting. It's going like this. All right. There you go. So this is, you move this like this, it cuts a bigger diameter as you go. And I don't know if you can see the mark down there, but it's cutting on it a little bit. right there. Hear it? That's where we're hitting. So we're zeroed out right now, whatever number that is. What we got here? Was that a 10 there, 20? Whatever the hell number that is right there. And we have to set our depth on how far down we go. Because we don't go too deep. And I'm not sure I'm going to set that. Because I want to make sure I don't go below this surface here. I'll probably have to kick this thing off center, come over here, set the depth off this surface here. Don't know how deep it is. I'll bring it back over and bore the hole. And go all the way down until I just touch the gasket and come back up. But I have to go make sure I go completely through that cover because it's going to be an odd size. So if I cut in the cover here in the case slightly, it'll be all right. But you don't want to come up short. Ideally, you want to cut into through the gasket. All right, that'll be tomorrow's project. We'll dial it all in tomorrow and start cutting some holes. And I got to make some oversized dowel pins and the lathe over here, and got a bunch of machining to do. All right, that's it for tonight.